What's going on, vinyl community? It's LJ, and this is a video that should have been shot a week ago, but who knows when you're gonna watch it, so it's all relative anyways. This video is about a trade that I did with fellow VC member Greeno22, or Greeno as he's known around here in the VC. It started off, not the least of which, well, with these, and I know what you're thinking. Nice cans, right? Some vintage 70s Pioneer headphones. These are SE205s. They were produced from 1974 to 1980. Not sure at what point during the 6-year span these hit the market. Somewhere in there. And man, do they sound cool. It's just awesome. I mean, from having a newer pair of headphones just to have a vintage pair like this and just rock out. That is just the coolest thing in the world. Now, you know, you can't have a vintage pair of killer Pioneer cans without having the appropriate place to store them. What's a guy to do? Put them on the desk? Nah. Floor? Are you crazy? Leave them on my head all day? Now that's an option. But realistically, what can we do? So I really had to stretch the old creative thinking here and come up with a special solution. So here, take a look at what I came up with. You know, I'm pretty proud of this. This is not only out of the way, but it's the perfect size, and it's a perfect way to store your headphones. I've seen some people do some similar things in the past with similar type designs, but I had to stretch and think of how can I put a personal spin on this, and what can I do? And I mean, hey, feel free to do something like this yourself, and I mean, you use your own favorite Kiss character for it, you know, and what? You don't like Kiss? I mean, if you don't like Kiss, what's wrong with you? I guess you could just have a plain, you know, head, that's fine, but, you know, jazz it up a little bit. Do something to personalize it and make it a little more you. So let's get through the rest of the stack, but in the meantime, Greeno, thanks for the cans, man. Just awesome. Now, what we were listening to, that was The Answer, and it still is The Answer. This is Never Too Late. This is an EP from The Answer. They're a rock band out of Northern Ireland. This is pretty cool. It's an EP on one, and then live and band interview and videos, stuff like that on the other, which is a DVD. Very cool, very reminiscent of 70s, like Led Zeppelin and Deep Purple. Not comparing them to those bands, but in that same vein. If you dig Graveyard, if you dig, you know, any of those newer bands out of Europe that are doing that 70s hard rock thing, man, you'll dig The Answer. Awesome stuff. Listen to that. Ever the comedian? Here is a bulk cassette eraser for fixing video mistakes. Very cool. Thanks, Greeno. Another one, just plugging a hole. Greeno was going through some CDs. I didn't have a copy of Lita from '88 on CD. I have it on vinyl and cassette. It's very cool to have it on CD. Thanks, Greeno. This is pretty cool. Greeno was out doing some digging and turned up this 7-inch from Anthrax, Fight 'Em Till You Can't. And the flip side of this is The Devil You Know. Some really cool labels on this. Check that out. Just awesome. Awesome. It mirrors the front of the sleeve. And this is from their 2011 or 2012 release, Worship Music. Fight 'Em Till You Can't, not a bad song, but to be honest with you, the flip, The Devil You Know, is just pure Anthrax. Awesome. Joey Belladonna back behind the mic. Can't go wrong. Here's Michael Monroe, not faking it. Michael Monroe from Hanoi Rocks. This was his first solo LP from '89. Very cool stuff, just some good old glam metal. Can't get much better than that. Flotsam and Jetsams, Doomsday for the Deceiver. This was so cool to get this on vinyl. It's an original on Metal Blade, and this is just an epic album. Jason Newsted, still in the band, he's right here. I actually just showed a copy of this on cassette maybe a month or so ago. So very, very cool. And this is a trade Greeno and I have been working on. And it's really my own fault for months and months and months, and kind of just throw messages back and forth, finding stuff in the wild, picking up blind buys and not digging them and passing them on, and the stuff just accumulated, and something always came up, mostly on my side, why we just couldn't get together and get it done. But having it done now, and I saw his video, I'm glad you're happy with that stuff, Greeno. That's just awesome. He threw this in. This must have been kind of a bonus. I don't remember talking about this, but this is Decibel, vinyl cut sampler. I recognize some of the bands on here. This is from Relapse, Razor and Tie, Victory Records, all different labels throwing stuff. I know Chelsea Grin and Pathology and Jungle Rot are mostly death metal bands, so is Toxic Holocaust. But I did check out some of the stuff online, and man, Red Fang, The song is called Wires from a band called Red Fang. It's the lead-off track on side 1. Check this out. I gotta play you a clip of this. This is a very, very, very cool song. Check it out. So that was Red Fang with Wires and Greeno, and thank you for throwing that in. I can't wait to crack it open and give it a proper listen on the turntable, even if not for just a couple songs. That's what a sampler is all about. Here's some good old 70s hard rock. This is Diamond Rio. This is their self-titled first LP from 1975. Just good old mid-70s hard rock, and there's not much else you can say about it besides that. It is what it is. It's in the vein of like an REO Speedwagon, but when they were heavier in the early 70s before they became AOR sweethearts. Very good stuff. Same could be said of Rock Kicks. This is a copy of Inside. This is from very, very good album. This reminded me a lot of like Foghat. Very, very good stuff. Great album. Very happy to add that. Here's a copy of Steeler with an A. I have a copy of Steeler with 2 E's, which is from later in the 80s. And this is 1982, which was just an epic year for music. This is a promo copy. Very good stuff. Again, very much in the vein of like an REO, but before they hit big. But still with an AOR tinge to it, being from the early 80s. Excellent record. Here's a copy of Sad Cafe, Facades. A really interesting record. This is from 1980, I think? 1979. It's really hard to pigeonhole this one. It's definitely hard rock, but it's got some softer moments too. You might almost say it's aimed squarely at FM radio, but still a really good listen. Just a lot of different styles. It's not really heavy and it's not too soft. It's kind of nestled somewhere in between there. It's a good listen if you can find a copy pretty cheap. A little heavier, here is Face Dancer, About Face. And this was just really good. I believe, I can't read the bottom of this right now, but it's right around 1980 or so. Some good hard rock. Again, kind of like a Foghat and a Foreigner combined from that period is what I got from it. Excellent listen. Greeno, thanks so much. And he went ahead and slipped in a little VCLT. Who knew? So check this out. This is October 31 or October 31st. The name of the album is No Survivors. And man, does that not have some of the best album artwork you've ever seen? Check that out. Greeno mentioned this is, the leader of the band is King Fowley, who's from the 80s metal band, death metal band Deceased. Neither one of us are big death metal fans at all. And this was really, really neat. This is really in the vein of like an Overkill or a Nuclear Assault from the mid-80s. And I know Greeno has met and is friends with King Fowley, and Greeno's actually credited on the LP, which is really funny, the liner notes. But I guess this was a real limited release on vinyl, and they were supposed to have been hand-numbered. You can see the block for that on the bottom. But I guess a number of them were received with split tops. Now, what's funny about that is how many of us order brand new vinyl and receive it with a split top? It happens to me all the time. My brand new copy of Queensryche had a split open top. But that was enough for them to consider not numbering and selling those particular copies. So a friend of Greeno's dug up a dozen or so copies in the basement, and so you have to argue, is it even more rare because it was limited to 500, but these 10 or 12 never even went into circulation. However you argue it, it's just very cool to have a copy of it. It was just great sounding mid-80s metal. It was actually released in 2005, I believe it was. Yep, 2005 on Thrash Corner Records, and man, what a great album. It just sounded killer. Greeno, man, thank you so much. Absolutely loved it. Really excited to have it. Very cool. That is it for me for this one. I want to say a huge thanks again to Greeno for the trade. Super happy. Great stuff. You guys take care, and I'll talk to you all soon. Ciao.